High drama down in the lows of Mexico as Oshaki Foster gets an amazing stoppage at the last seconds of the fight against Rocky Hernandez in what I would argue it was a fight that the vast majority of people did not know what they were watching. And I was inspired to do some brief aftermath because in Oshaki's last fight, I gave him some advice and somebody trying to say they were going to send it to him. He didn't really take my advice, but in this case, I'm going to give him a pass because of what I saw. And I'll tell you, up front, I initially saw what NSB and other places saw, which is that Foster, he's not doing what he needs to do here. And this guy, as I called in the preview on combattalkradio.net, I felt like Hernandez is going to keep coming forward and come after him. And aggression was going to play in a factor, and it's going to sway those damn judges, and it talks his hometown. Everybody's going to be against him. He's going to get robbed if he doesn't step it up and put a stamp on every damn round. So Foster, initially, I'm watching, I'm like, Foster, dude, why aren't you going after this guy? And I understood. I understood what the strategy was after I watched it back. I'm like, okay, I understand what the strategy is. The strategy is, he's going to come after you. He's going to be overly aggressive, and he's going to basically wind himself out. So during the fight, pretty much the vast majority of the first few rounds, it's hard to get Foster around. I would argue up through like round 9. It's hard to give Foster any rounds in there. You probably can make a case for like 1 or 2, but if you're honest with yourself, Hernandez was clearly winning certain of the rounds. But if you look at Hernandez's fighting, he was missing a lot of those shots. It's just that the aggression, he was the constant aggressor. He was coming forward. He was the only one that really was aggressive. And Foster was essentially leading him around. So Foster was the ring general, but Foster's defense wasn't fully there like I think it should have been. It's almost like Boots, where it's like Foster doesn't work as hard as I think he needs to stop from getting hit, because in his mind, it doesn't really matter. Well, he learned the hard way in round 11 that it does matter. And that's when it woke him up, I think. I don't think Foster took him lightly at all. I don't think it was that. I think he knew strategically he needed to win this guy out and basically say, I'm not gonna go and engage. I'm gonna fight my fight and fight at a distance. It reminded me, watching him, it reminded me of prime Adrian Broner. Prime Adrian Broner used to do that. He used to basically, he'll wait for that opportunity and then eventually start walking you down late, but he would not be overly aggressive. So that's what it reminded me of when I watched him. And I don't know that works for Oshaki like it did for Broner, because if you remember when Broner went up against Maidana, he tried to do that and Chino tagged him with something. That's what happened here. It's just that Oshaki didn't go down like Broner did. But it was the same type of a deal where, you take your eyes off the prize for just a minute, get clipped on the chin, and then get rocked. So I'll put out my secondary advice on this one. As I watched the fight, it was clear what Oshaki Foster was doing, and I like what he was doing against this kind of a fighter. As the commentary did call out fairly, Hernandez had way more knockouts than Foster had fights. So from a danger perspective, Foster was certainly at risk, not only because of the guy that was across from him, but because of the venue that he was in, and it's hostile territory, hostile judges. And that's why I kept saying, man, put a stamp on this shit, dude, because it's possible that you're going to get ripped, like Lara against Paul Williams, right? And I think he would have got on the cards, rightfully, he would have lost. Like, it would not have been a robbery. He rightfully would have lost if he did not get this stoppage at the last seconds of the fight. He would definitely, absolutely have lost this fight. Now, the bias of the referee, and first of all, that referee, I was waiting for him to do the damn Carlton because he looked just like Alfonso Ribeiro. Setting that aside for a minute, that ref, it was clearly he was biased against or towards Hernandez against Foster because, damn, Hernandez was getting banged up on the ropes left and right. We're talking parts of round 11, but also round 12. He's getting banged on the ropes. I watched the ref and I'm like, dude, come on, man. If this was anybody, if that was Foster getting banged like that, you'd have dashed your, I almost said a thing I shouldn't. You'd have dashed your Carlton looking ass up in there and stopped the fucking fight. And you would have done that. But when it's Hernandez, you're letting him take bombs after bombs and you're not willing to stop the fight over there. Hernandez was a bloody fucking mess by the time it was done. That ref let Hernandez take all sorts of punishment before he finally decided to stop it. And arguably the sequence that stopped it was less dangerous than the sequence that started the whole damn thing in round 11 when Foster came back after he got rocked. When Foster got rocked, and he did. So the first thing that happens is, right, Foster rocks Hernandez. Hernandez turns his back. Hernandez comes back, rocks Foster. Foster starts fighting back, which I thought was really good. I love the sequence. When Foster starts fighting back and he starts swinging back, There was at least one opportunity I saw there in round 11 where that ref could have damn sure stopped that fight and he didn't do it. When round 12 comes around, Foster's pretty much in total control at this point. Hernandez is on the back foot. He's essentially running, but he's hurt. He's not fully recovered. It's clear in his body language. The ref could have stopped it off of one or two bangs that Foster was landing because there was a couple of brutal shots in there right on the freaking chin. And the ref just doesn't do it. Hernandez gets dropped. I think he got dropped twice in that round. Ref still doesn't stop the fight and then takes another fucking sequence. Like that ref, it was obvious I don't want to say the fix was in, but the bias was in because that ref was absolutely aligned with Hernandez and it hurt that dude to stop that fucking fight. And Foster knew he had to step it up and do something. My feedback though to O'Shaquie Foster, this is what I'm saying. This is why I keep saying you need to put a stamp on every damn round and not let the shit go that far, especially when you go into enemy territory, because you'd have lost that fucking fight if you did not get that stoppage late, and it was not guaranteed that ref was going to give you that stoppage. That ref could have just let Hernandez get banged the fuck out all the way through the bell just to give Hernandez that W of going the decision and possibly win on the cards. You can't let that happen. You cannot let the hostiles win like that. The fact that you stopped the dude is amazing. The fact that you stopped him on his home turf is amazing. And I'm celebrating that you did that. But dude, put a fucking stamp on every round. Stop. In this case, yes, it's a hostile dude. Yes, he's coming aggressive. Yes, he's doing this. Your stamina was way better than his. Your durability was better than his in the long run, but your stamina was way better than this guy. You could have gone in and thrown more than you did. When he's coming in, you could have check hooked the hell out of him on at least 5 occasions I counted and just rocked his head. Just put a fucking stamp on it, man. Just put a stamp on it. That doesn't mean you don't still go for the knockout late game when he tires out. This fight reminded me of a ghetto version of Mayweather versus Burton, right? Emmanuel Burton, aka Emmanuel Augustus. That's what it reminded me of, because Augustus was there. He was right in front of Floyd the whole damn time. And there were times when Burton was able to land on Mayweather and Mayweather was not going as aggressive as you might have expected. But the point is that Mayweather put a stamp on enough rounds to essentially wear the dude down. After he saw this guy wasn't going anywhere, he just said, I'm just gonna go after you. That's what I wanted to see from Foster. Is that a dangerous strategy? Absolutely. But when you're in hostile territory, and most importantly, right, you're in front of a Mexican crowd who's hot for boxing. The one thing you want to do is you want to show them, look, man, I'm here and you should be cheering for me too, even though I'm not one of you. That rhymes. You should be cheering for me too. You do that by putting a stamp on every damn round, not by boxing at distance the whole damn, let's say 9 rounds of the first fucking part of the fight. So if he's listening, man, I like what I saw in the sense that you were able to deal with this dude on hostile territory, and it took a while for you to wake up, and it took a bomb to the chin for you to wake up. But I like the strategy. I'm not saying the strategy should change overall. I'm not saying you should just completely go after him as an aggressor. I'm saying there were multiple opportunities you could have check hooked the hell out of him on the way in. There were multiple situations where you could have just bombed on him throughout at least the first 6 when he's coming in, and just counter, and then force him to start backing off a little bit and then go after it. There was multiple times I saw you could have done that, and I think you'd have been successful. His power was there, the danger was there, the risk was there. I'm not negating or ignoring any of this, and I'm not saying it was a bad strategy. I'm saying just put a stamp on the rounds, man. Do more in the rounds to tell the judges, yeah, this dude's coming forward. Yeah, he's got power in hands. Yes, he's an aggressor. Yes, he's a stalker, because I did like Hernandez's stalking. He stalked really well. He didn't come in like Chino did, where he's just wild and swinging. He actually came in very close to El Matador Chavez in the way he was coming forward, and I was very impressed with Hernandez. But that's exactly why I felt like Foster should have been able to catch this dude coming in, because there were multiple opportunities for him to do so, and he didn't take them because he was waiting for Hernandez to gas out. I got it. I'm not critical of the overall plan. I'm saying you still could have landed a little bit more than you did and thrown a little bit more than you did, instead of just letting round after round after round obviously get handed over to the dude because he's just aggressive, even if he's ineffective at most of the aggression. I'm giving kudos to O'Shaquie Foster for an amazing stoppage. It was a great second, 11 and 12 rounds. Amazing style, amazing recovery. I love what I saw. All I'm saying, dude, put a fucking stamp on every round. You don't have to go after the dude, but you can do more than what you do early on to convince judges, because we can't have this pattern of where you half-ass up through round 7 You basically throw away rounds up to round 7 and then turn it up in the later because somebody's going to catch you. Somebody's going to catch you and it's not going to be good. You just got caught by Hernandez. Hernandez was dangerous and you just got caught by him, but Hernandez is not A level. If you were up in there in the A level, you get sparked out. I don't want to see that happen to you, dude, because I like you as a guy. I like you as a boxer, and I like your style, and I like what you're doing. And I think you got raw potential. And I think your recovery is amazing. You know, the fact that you're coming back up after the losses, you're building very nicely. I just wish you put a stamp on it a little bit more than you're doing. This whole sequence, him, reminds me kind of Rigan Diao to one degree, Lara to one degree, guys where they would just box at range for the vast majority of their career, and then when they take a loss, all of a sudden they're more aggressive than they were before. That's what I don't want to see. I want to see you're doing just a little bit more to convince judges. I'm not asking you to be an overall aggressor. It's not your style. I'm asking you to step it up just a little bit more to convince judges that you're better than these people, so that we don't have to have those sequences where people on NSB and other places say you suck because you're dropping 9 rounds to somebody that you should be easily dealing with because you are the superior boxer. I saw you're the superior boxer over Rocky Hernandez. It was obvious, but it being obvious is not obvious to the casual. It damn sure ain't obvious to the casual fans. It certainly is not obvious to the Mexican fans because you know they want Mexican style. You don't have to do Mexican style. All you got to do is shut down Mexican style because they're there to see you lose, okay? Win by dominating their guy. And that's how you get over. That's how Floyd got over. That's how many of these fighters got over. That's how Broner got over. So I'm just asking, man, put a stamp on it and stop half-assing and throwing away half the fucking fight before you show up with the skill we know you have. We know you have it. We know you got it. Show more of it, because that's how you're going to get over on a mainstream level, by showcasing what you showcased in round 12 and 11. Showcase more of that, but throughout the fight. You don't have to go all the way after the dude. It's clear that you have skill that surpassed him. Show that skill every round of the fucking fight. That's all I'm asking.